Hi, I'm Viviana here at TPAC, and we have an intimate interview with Nathan Pacheco, who will be appearing here at TPAC next Saturday, May the 13th.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you so much.
And I would say welcome to Nashville, but I've been told you're already a Nashvilleian.
I am. Let's see, my wife and I moved here to the South about a year ago from LA, and I just love it. It's such an amazing place. I'm rarely here because I travel a lot doing performances, so this is my first solo performance in Nashville, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And we're very excited to have you here in Nashville and to be performing. Nathan, can you tell us about your beginning, the career, your roots, and your influence for your music?
Sure. Well, I got started in music when I was really young because my mom was a piano teacher and she got me involved with piano and then the violin. And then about halfway throughout high school, my older sister was studying opera at the time, and I had always loved to sing, and I started to take classical voice lessons, kind of following in her example. And I just loved singing in the school choirs and the high school musicals. And I was kind of raised on classical music, and so I listened to the three tenors a lot, and there was something about their singing that really moved me. And so I just started to pursue this style of singing little by little. I didn't always know that I wanted to do this as a career, but as I got more involved with it, and as I experienced the fulfillment that came from performing on stage, from connecting with the audience, I realized I've got to find some way to do this.
Right. You talked about the tenors, those influence. Can you tell us who they were?
Yes. Pavarotti, Domingo, and Carreras.
Fantastic.
And I think that Pavarotti, his voice spoke to me the most. And in my opinion, I still listen to his recordings all the time, and there's something about his high notes that are just unmatched. And I remember just listening to the way that he would sing and interpret certain songs, and there was so much passion, so much feeling. And I think that's definitely one of the reasons why I've kind of pursued this style of singing, because I think that it evokes so much emotion. It can capture so much emotion when it's done right. And so... And
you yourself have a lot of passion, a lot of confidence, and I see your humility too.
Oh,
I love
thanks.
that. Love that. Can you tell us about the experience you had with Yanni on the road?
Absolutely. That was my first experience in the music industry, and so it was an amazing experience because there I was having the opportunity to perform with this world-class performer and musician and composer, and not only was it amazing working in the studio with him and being able to compose and record with him, but once we went on the road, it was just a complete immersion in what the music industry is all about, and it certainly prepared me for everything that I'm doing now in my solo career.
And you've also gone on the road, and we were talking before the interview that you have been, you're a success in Europe. Tell us about that experience of your tour in Europe.
Well, the biggest experience that I've had over there has been performing with Katherine Jenkins, and she's a crossover star over there. And so last year I performed throughout all of the UK and England, Scotland, Wales. And then just a couple months ago, we did a Christmas tour in Ireland. And so all of those experiences were amazing, not only because I was able to perform with Katherine and with the National Symphony Orchestra, and also in these amazing venues, some of them that are so old and they just are so ornate and incredible, but also being able to be exposed to the culture over there and be able to travel from one town to the next and see places that really look like you're in a movie, because of the sheep that are just out there in this open field. You have this church that was built probably in 300 AD, and so everything looks so old, and it's just kind of like you're jumping back in time. And so it's just a neat experience overall.
That's fantastic. And you, by traveling and experiencing all these cultural things, does that help you? Because I understand you're also a composer and a writer.
I am. There's something about writing, expressing myself that I just love. So whether it's expressing myself on stage when I'm singing or through writing, there's something about that that's just so fulfilling to me. And so I try to do that as much as I can. And without question, the different experiences that I have, whether they be through traveling or whether they be through the relationships that I have, all of those things allow me to reach something inside of me and then express it through music.
That's fantastic. So what can we expect? What can Nashville expect to see in your performance and maybe in the future?
Well, it's going to be a fun show, I promise. There are a few neat things about it. One of them is, I'm sure many people, well, I take that back. Probably everyone has seen the movie Titanic and Braveheart.
Of course.
Well, the guy who played the bagpipe solos and the flute solos, he will be accompanying me in this show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because they're, in this crossover style of music that I do, I worked with Leo Z, he's from northern Italy, and we tried to incorporate different folk elements into this crossover style that I sing. And so Eric Rigler, the bagpipe player, he'll be joining us in this concert, and he adds a unique touch to the show. And then, but all the songs, they will be doing some classics, like Nessun Dorma from one of Puccini's most famous operas, and then we'll be doing a lot of originals as well. And
will you be doing Avatar?
Yes,
Oh,
yes ma'am.
fantastic.
I'm glad you know Avatar.
No, Avatar, of course.
That's good. That was actually one of the last songs we wrote for the album, and it's one of my favorite songs to sing. And a lot of people will say, hey, well, you're always singing in these different languages. Well, Avatar is actually a song that I do in English. And
that is fantastic.
I'll be doing quite a few songs in
Will
English.
You be
for the
singing
show.
also in Italian and your
Yes.
native language? Can you tell us a little bit about your background, your Portuguese background, Brazilian?
Well, I won't be singing any in Portuguese this concert, but
Okay.
I anxiously await to be able to do an album in Portuguese and to be able to release that in Brazil. That
So
would be
we will be
amazing.
looking for that then.
Yes, please do. But I'll be singing a lot in Italian and
Fantastic.
also Spanish in your native language,
Fantastic.
and then in English, and then there's a song from the Gladiator soundtrack. It's called Now Where You're Free. It's the theme song, and it's actually not a language at all. It's just kind of, Lisa Gerard, who wrote the song, she kind of just sang in gibberish. It sounds crazy, but that's what it is. It's not a language. She just sang different sounds that would evoke emotion for that amazing movie. And so I'll be singing that song too.
That's fantastic. You've mentioned a couple times the crossover style, the classical crossover. Can you explain to our audience exactly, what does that mean to us?
Sure. That's a good question, because this crossover style, in my opinion, really didn't become popular until Andrea Bocelli and Josh Groban.
Okay.
And the crossover style is just kind of, as the name describes, it's kind of a mixture between classical and pop. And so instead of just being full-out opera, it kind of blends in elements of pop music that, in my opinion, make it more accessible. And for example, there are a lot of songs that I sing where in the verse, it's kind of more speech-like, as if I'm just talking to you. And then when the chorus comes along, then it kind of brings out more of the classical style of singing in order to evoke the emotion that the chorus of the song requires. And did that make sense at all?
Yes, well, to me it does,
Okay.
and we can let the community know, what they need to do is just come see you next Saturday.
I think that's an excellent idea.
And I think they're going to see exactly what it's all about.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here with
That's my
us,
pleasure.
and we
Thank
look
you for having
forward,
me.
to your concert this Saturday.
Well, thank you
and
very much.
we are very happy that you're here with us in Nashville.
Oh, well, likewise. It's great to be here. I really do love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Acá Viviana en TPAC entrevistando al tenor Nathan Pacheco para la ciudad de Nashville, la ciudad más multicultural del sur.